Before we get into today's video, I'd like to thank Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Surfshark is a VPN service that protects your online information by encrypting all the data that you send through the internet, making sure anyone you don't want to see it doesn't see it. So it's keeping all those unwanted pests from seeing your private information. But one of my favorite features of Surfshark is I can be anywhere in the world with one click of a button. So due to licensing and stuff like that, a lot of stuff on streaming services is restricted depending on where you are in the world. But with Surfshark VPN, you can be anywhere in the world with one click of a button. I'm in Australia watching Australian Netflix. Not anymore. I'm in America watching The Walking Dead on American Netflix. How awesome is that? And right now, Surfshark has a really good deal going on right now. By using my link in the description and using the promo code DEOXY, you'll get 83% off. Not only that, you'll get an extra 3 months for free. Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk in trying it out for yourself. Special thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video, and I hope you guys try out the link in the description down below. Thanks for watching. So, this episode of Power Rangers Dino Fury set up what we're going to be seeing in the series overall for the next couple of years. We saw the introduction to the T-Rex Champion Zord, the T-Rex Zord, the battle keys, the morphing, the villains and how they grow and stuff like that. We saw some brand new characters which was really cool, and it basically set up the status quo of what we'll be seeing in the franchise moving forward, and I enjoyed it quite a fair bit. It had a lot of action, it had a lot of funny moments, it had some interesting plot points here and there, so overall it's a pretty solid episode, and I enjoyed it quite a fair bit, and I'm excited to see what they'll do moving forward with Power Rangers Dino Fury after this episode, because we've still got 3 Rangers at this point, but I'm loving our 3 Rangers we've got right now. Like, the chemistry the actors and the characters have together work really well, and I can't wait to see where they go next once we get a full team. So, let's talk about Power Rangers Dino Fury Episode 2. So, when this episode opens up, the first thing we see are the Rangers, or the brand new Rangers, Amelia and Ollie, learning how to morph, which I got a big kick out of because they're learning how to morph for the very first time, and they can't just get it right as Zato's trying to teach them, which was really funny because they have to practice and get it right, and they fail 2 times in the opening scene at the start of the episode. But when they do it, when they do the proper full morph, like, they pause for a little bit and they go, "How's that?" And Zato goes, "Pretty good," which was really cool. Now, the actual morph sequence for Power Rangers Dino Fury is pretty solid. It's the usual thing we've been seeing in the American version of morphs in the Power Ranger franchise, where they have the black spandex on and it forms into the Sentai suits and the helmets come together. But the graphics and the visuals when they morph in Dino Fury compared to the Sentai, I really do dig, because they say into the grid, I believe, into the morphin grid, or link to the morphin grid. It's one of those things. And when they morph and they're like sort of like hovering in the air, you can see like a bunch of particles in the air that they're connecting to, which I'm guessing is the morphin grid that they're connecting to when they morph. So that's really cool, and I did get a kick out of that when we saw it. But I really do dig the morphing sequence in Dino Fury. But like I said earlier, I really do like how they were starting at the start of the episode. They were learning how to morph, because in Power Rangers, they know how to morph right away. They know how to morph right off the bat. But in this one, Zato is teaching them the whole morph sequence and what to do. And I got a kick out of that. So the whole plot of this episode are the Rangers trying to find a way to stop the Sporix from getting all over the city, and they gotta find a way to hunt him down and stop him. And Ollie, Big Brain Ollie, I love Ollie as a character. I love how reckless he can be, how he jumps head on into things. I like that as a character. It kind of reminds me of me sometimes. There's a little bit of me in Ollie. So Ollie's like, my mum's a woman of science, she's really smart, we can use her drone and the scanner that Void Knight left behind, and we'll find those Sporix in no time. And Zato's like, no, we gotta figure this out slowly, we gotta come up with a good plan. And Ollie's like, screw that, I'm going to my mum, we're gonna use her drone, and we'll see how it goes. And that doesn't go according to the plan, because Ollie's mum ends up getting kidnapped by Void Knight, and Shockhorn or Riphorn, whatever he's called, and Mucus, which is the mushroom person. So let's talk about Mucus. Mucus is a fun character, I will say that, because in the Sentai, it's this weird comedic character that's got this funny voice that's voiced by a really famous Japanese voice actress who's good at doing little boy voices, so it's got this weird kid voice to it. With Mucus, it's more of a female voice, but it's not scratchy, it's not high-pitched, it's like a normal speaking voice, and I can dig that. It's not going to get grating on my ears, so special props to the voice actress who voices that character, because that's the voice I can tolerate. Now, they are a little bit annoying, like a little kid, but that's in the character of how they're written, and that's fine with me. They're meant to be the comedic foil to Void Knight, who's all serious and gruff, so those two work really well off each other with the voice acting and the chemistry and writing and stuff like that. So Mucus is very interesting, and I do like Mucus as a character. I'm excited to see how they'll handle this character compared to the Sentai version, but with the footage they've got, we'll see what they do, but Mucus is pretty cool. Now, the fight with Shockhorn in this episode. Now, that fight, if I remember correctly, it's mostly ripped from the Sentai with footage they use from the Sentai. So, if people are cringing and groaning from the fart key that they use, or the fart dino key they use, that happened in the Sentai. 100% I remember that happened in Re-Soldier when I was watching it at the time. And it's not that bad. They executed the joke better than I thought they would, because they call it a stink bomb or something, and yeah, it does turn into a fart joke. Farts are funny to me. I mean, if you can do a good fart joke, you'll get a laugh out of me, that is for sure. But the fight with Shockhorn is kind of short-lived, because they destroy him fairly quickly. They destroy the monster of the day. He puts up a decent fight, but when he loses, he does summon the henchmen, I believe they're called. That's going to be a hard name to remember. So he summons them, he gets away, but he does get destroyed in the end. But let's talk about the fight when he turns giant, because when he turns giant, Zato summons the T-Rex champion Zord, and holy crap, this is an awesome Zord fight, because this Zord fight is like half CGI and half stunt performance of a person in the suit, and the fighting choreography in this Zord battle is freaking amazing. Like, he's doing all these spin kicks and stuff like that, he's moving around, it's freaking amazing. I freaking love the T-Rex champion Zord. It's probably one of my favorite Zords in recent Sentai and Power Rangers history. Like, I love the design, it's really cool, it's really amazing, and I'm gonna love the add-ons it gets moving forward later down the line throughout the season. So I really love the T-Rex champion Zord. But what's also really interesting is Zato says, "Hello, old friend," so that's going to be an emotional punch for some people right there, because he calls it old friend. But I do wonder if the champion T-Rex Zord is sentient, because in the Sentai, it's Tiramigo that turns giant in the Sentai. There's no Tiramigo in Power Rangers Dino Fury so far, and I don't think there is going to be a Tiramigo in Power Rangers Dino Fury. So I do wonder how they're going to establish the bond between Zato and his Zord. If not, they don't do it, they don't do it. I understand that's going to be a hard thing to write around, but I get the feeling they're just going to make it a normal Zord, a normal looking Zord, and I'm fine with that. Like, they can skip some things in Re-Soldier, they don't have to do it word for word, but like I said, I freaking love the T-Rex champion Zord in this episode and how it moved around. Like, that was a really good Zord fight, in my opinion, and I think they handled it really, really well. There's also another scene I want to talk about, which I got another laugh out of, and that's when they save Ollie's mum from Void Knight and Shockhorn and Mucus and all that, and Ollie's mum, like, Ollie runs to his mum and he goes, "Ma," and he goes, "Ma'am, are you okay?" And Ollie's mum goes, "Hey, you sound very familiar," and then Ollie has to change his voice and sounds really deep, which I got a kick out of, because in the Power Rangers universe, there's always that one question that people question about the plot, saying, How can they not tell who's under the helmet? Like, wouldn't they sound very familiar? Like, wouldn't they be able to detect who's talking to him? But I like it that Ollie's voice nearly gets caught out, so he has to talk in a really deep voice when speaking to his mum by going, "Hello there, ma'am. I'm glad you're safe." Like, I'm doing a really bad imitation on that scene, but you know what I'm talking about. So I got a kick out of that scene because it's something that the fandom nitpicks about, and someone nearly sort of catches on that Ollie sounds very familiar under that ranger suit, and yeah, like, you know what I'm talking about. But Ollie in this episode is just full of snark, and I love that, because after we see the dino keys being used when they go back to the base, like, Amelia goes, "Those dino keys are really awesome. I wonder if I can use them to get really tall, or get really strong, or move really fast. I wonder what powers they have." And Zato goes, "They've got all kinds of powers." And Ollie goes full snark and goes, "Hey, maybe you can use one of those keys to stop believing in ghosts." So, damn, Ollie with the snarky witty comebacks, which I gotta love Ollie for that. Like, Ollie full of sass, gotta love him. So, the episode ends on kind of a weird note, because people are discovering the Sporix on social media, and they're poking with sticks and stuff like that. The episode ends with Zato Morphed giving a television presentation saying, "If you find any Sporix, please call the Ranger hotline, and we'll come out immediately to help you," which I kind of groaned that they were doing like a public service announcement, but they gotta do it somehow, because these Sporix are dangerous. Someone's gonna hurt themselves, so you gotta stop stupid people from doing stupid things and awakening alien life forms from destroying the planet. So I understand why they did it, but it was like kind of weird, not in a bad way, but in a, okay, they're making this move here. So the episode ends with the Void Knight and Mucus going back to their base, which is an abandoned warehouse called Area 66 or something like that. It's a really cool set. I really do dig this set for the bad guys, because you've got a bunch of monitors, you've got this throne in place, you've got this giant machine, and the Void Knight uses the Sporix remains of Shockhorn, puts it in this giant machine, and he's using the Sporix remains to power up this machine to move his evil plan forward. What is that evil plan? No idea, but I'm interested to see what he's doing, because we don't know what it is, but he seems very invested in collecting Sporix to put in this machine to conquer the world. So whatever he's planning, who knows? Could he be reviving a certain character? Could he be reviving a certain weapon? Nobody knows, but we kind of have the goal of the villains at this point of what the Void Knight wants to do and why he's after the Sporix, why he wants to harness their energy for that machine. So whatever that plot point device is, I'm definitely invested in it and interested to see what he might do next. Anyway guys, overall I think it was a really good episode, a really good solid episode. Ollie learned about teamwork, we saw more of the villains, we saw more of the power-ups, more of the Zords, but I think that's going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notifications. Special thanks to all the members, your support is greatly appreciated. With that said, I'm going to wrap this video up now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that will be. Take care of yourself, and have a wonderful day or night. Bye!